Since the pandemic's second anniversary on March 11th, I've been reflecting about the lessons I learned and the blessings I received during the pandemic. And it got me thinking about how I was able to identify one, that I needed to love and care for myself deeper. And that happened as a result of me not wanting to admit that I needed help. Admitting that I needed help made me very, 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 very vulnerable. And my pride got in the way. The pride of I can do it myself as a thriving mindfully coach, as a yoga teacher, a Reiki practitioner, a sound healing practitioner. I studied and got certified in all these modalities. I've been helping people for years, so certainly I can help myself. I was wrong, y'all. I was so wrong. And I spent the first several months of the pandemic in 2020, running around, responding and helping others. And I reached a place of burnout. I was stressed beyond belief. And the self-care and the self-love practices that I had used in the past, they weren't working. And it wasn't until my friend Garnet told me one early morning when I called him that I needed to get help. And I heard him. I finally came out of the denial. And that's when I started to identify an African American woman therapist. And I signed up, started getting support from her. I ended up getting a coach for my business. I joined some new communities, online communities for meditation, for astrology, for moon healing. And these different practices, including changing how I was working out. I was using online programs, but I needed to get out and bike. So I was able to get a bike and I started biking and being out in nature more as much as I could possibly do that, and drawing and writing poetry. And so I found myself realizing that this pandemic stress was just heavier than what I had ever experienced in my life. And I had to shift how I took care of myself. I had to shift how I love myself. I had to speak to my heart. And in speaking to my heart, I was able to identify 5 different self-love languages that I could use during the course of a month. I shifted during the seasons based on my needs. I had to stay open and flexible to changing what I was doing in order to meet my needs in the moment. I had to be mindful, that's part of embracing thriving mindfully. And I started to see the stress levels come down. And that when I got stressed, I was able to tap into my self-love languages. And those are honor your body, affirm yourself, reclaim your time, serve yourself, and celebrate yourself. And underneath each of those love languages are practices that I had to identify. I experimented with things that worked for me. And so now, as we are entering the 3rd year of the pandemic, I have decided to incorporate my 5 self-love languages and what I learned into the work that I do at the Thriving Mindfully Academy. And I wanted to invite you to participate in the Spring Reset, which is offered on Sunday, April 3rd from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or April 13th or the 20th of April from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Yes, click the link where you find this video and you'll see what I'm talking about. I look forward to seeing you in the Spring Reset. We're going to identify the lessons that you learned in the last 2.5 years, the blessings that you received. We're going to look at what were your major causes of stress during this time. We're going to help you identify your self-love languages and then set an intention on how you want to use those self languages as you move forward in the next 30, 60, and 90 days. It's a great way to honor yourself during the spring season. Spring is all about fresh starts, new beginnings. So let's get you ready with this spring reset. I'll see you there. Have a wonderful rest of your day, week, month, and year. And as I always like to say, may we continue to embrace thriving mindfully in everything that we think, feel, say, and do. See you later. Namaste.